This would be a steal for the New York Jets, as there's been a development in the Matthew Stafford saga on a quarterback that many fans are comparing to the Aaron Rodgers acquisition of a couple of years ago. And we got to break this down on Jets Digest. So what's up, guys? I'm Matt Long. Before we hop into the video, only 20.4% of viewers are subscribed to the channel. So if you are not subscribed, please take a second, hit the subscribe button. It really helps me out a ton. But hopping right into the video today, the LA Rams have officially granted quarterback Matthew Stafford permission to seek a trade and look for trade partners in the open market. And we have a report from Sports Illustrated breaking it down. It's official. The Rams have given star quarterback Matthew Stafford permission to seek a trade. While such a move does not mean both parties will part ways, this is the boldest move made so far by the Rams regarding current contract negotiations with Stafford, and it could lead to a domino effect that impacts the NFL. So, of course, Matthew Stafford, really good quarterback, Super Bowl champion quarterback, being given permission to seek a trade by the LA Rams. This is not a move that teams do when they are not considering actually moving the quarterback. So if you had any doubts on if Matthew Stafford was officially available, this wipes away any doubt. He is officially on the table. He is officially a real trade person who is possible to be acquired in a trade this offseason, which is very exciting. Of course, they were worried about his durability and they were worried about his future. They were worried that he was retiring. At this point, all reports are pointing to the fact that it is close to a 100% chance that Matthew Stafford is back in the NFL for at least one more year. And why shouldn't he be? He's putting up phenomenal stats right now. Obviously, over 3,760 yards per year over the past 3 years that he's been healthy. 2022, of course, dealing with that elbow injury coming off the Super Bowl championship, was not healthy for that year. But when he is healthy, Matthew Stafford is a superstar quarterback, one of the best quarterbacks in the league today. Top 10 quarterback, took the Philadelphia Eagles to the wire in the playoffs. The only team who is even close to beating the Philadelphia Eagles this postseason. Matthew Stafford is a great quarterback. I don't think I need to sell that part on anyone watching this video. Also, touchdown to interception ratio, very, very impressive for Matthew Stafford. He was great in Detroit before the Jared Goff Matthew Stafford trade. Of course, continues to be great in LA. So, Matthew Stafford, the pro case for trading for Matthew Stafford. Of course, he is by far the best quarterback acquisition possible. The best meaning the most talented quarterback, the quarterback that will lead to the most wins for the New York Jets next season. However, he comes at a price tag that makes the GM and fans think he's not the quarterback they want to go with, but make no mistake, he is the best quarterback available, a top 10 quarterback. This is not the ghost of Aaron Rodgers that the Jets would be trading for. This is a quarterback still in what seems to be his prime, winning the Super Bowl only a couple years ago. Before Aaron Rodgers was traded to the Jets, that last year in Green Bay, all of his stats took a hit, and there were questions whether he was slipping a little bit. We were hoping that he wasn't slipping. We convinced ourselves that even if he had slipped a little bit, our team was good enough that we could carry him and help him out if he played well enough. And clearly that wasn't the case. Only 5 wins in Aaron Rodgers' first healthy season with the Jets, but Matthew Stafford is a different case. Very recent Super Bowl champion, makes every offense he's been a part of has been a phenomenal offense. There have been wide receivers racking up passing yards everywhere he's been. If Matthew Stafford was traded to the New York Jets, Garrett Wilson would be going absolutely nowhere because Garrett Wilson would not be finding a quarterback to get him more yards than Matthew Stafford. If we trade for Matthew Stafford, you best believe Garrett Wilson would be signing a contract the next day in excitement to be attached to the New York Jets long term. So that's another pro for Matthew Stafford. Also, he is a great guy to have in the locker room. We have not heard any reports of teammates not liking him. He doesn't go on talk shows every Tuesday morning. He doesn't talk to the media and say annoying stuff there. So if you didn't like that about Aaron Rodgers, Matthew Stafford could be someone that you could be very interested in. So of course, quarterbacks this good do not come available often. Why are they even open to trading Matthew Stafford? And my answer to that is, I don't know. Is there something that the public does not know about Matthew Stafford? Because quarterbacks this good are never supposed to be available. But the LA Rams are looking at his injuries and they're saying, we don't know if we want to pay this player long term. So the media knows less about his injuries than the LA Ram team doctors. So we can reasonably infer that the injuries are worse than they appear on the surface level. Of course, Stafford looked great this year, but he must have been playing through something. But there is clearly an injury that is giving the LA Rams front office cause for concern about paying Matthew Stafford. There's also the possibility that he wants too much money in this contract restructure. If you're unfamiliar with his contract situation, this is a player who is not due a lot of money for this upcoming season, and he knows he's worth more than that. So everyone in the LA Rams front office can see a holdout coming from a mile away. And it's not just a holdout. They understand that he deserves more money than he's getting paid right now. So they know that he deserves to get paid more money next season. So he's got the injuries. He's 37 years old, which is obviously old. It's not a player you can build around long term. It's only a player that you could put a team together for at maximum 3 years. He can play longer than that, but you can't plan for any longer than that. Also, some Jets fans don't want him because is it a smart idea to go for an aggressive win now move with a first-time head coach? Doesn't seem like the very best idea, but some Jets fans are comparing what a potential Matthew Stafford acquisition would look like. It would look exactly like Aaron Rodgers, and I would say not too far off. Aging quarterback coming to the Jets. We feel like we are one quarterback away. If the Jets felt like they were one quarterback away, they would trade for Matthew Stafford and run it with Matthew Stafford. But my guess is they are not going to feel like they're a quarterback away, because let's be honest, the team isn't a quarterback away. We talk about the needs in every single video. I'm not going to list them off here. So the reason what makes Stafford different from Aaron Rodgers is the fact that Stafford is still in his prime. He's still Matthew Stafford. He's not the ghost of Aaron Rodgers. I don't want to keep saying the same thing, but Aaron Rodgers was slipping, leaving Green Bay, which is why he was available. Aaron Rodgers, the top of his prime, of course, higher than the top of Matthew Stafford's prime. But when these guys, when you get older, you start to slip. It's just how sports work. Matthew Stafford is not slipping yet. It's very, very, the injuries are not concerning surface level, but they have to know something that we don't. So would I want to see the Jets trade for Matthew Stafford? I think it would be a little bit of history repeating itself with Aaron Rodgers. Yes, he is the best possible option. And if you don't want to tank, you should be rooting for Matthew Stafford to come to the Jets. But we here at Jets Digest don't think that the Jets are pushing chips in the middle this season to go try to win a Super Bowl. We think that they are going to just, however many games they win, that's what they're going to go with. When we say tank, we're talking about they're not going to trade and bring in more players with an emphasis on winning this season. So we're not saying the coaches and players are going to go out and lose games, because obviously that's not how you build a culture. We want Aaron Glenn to try to win as many games as possible, but Darren Mougey is not going to make moves to put him in a good position this year. Darren Mougey is going to make moves to put him in a good position next year and the following years going forwards. So that's what we're talking about when we're saying the Jets are going to be tanking this year. We're not saying they're going to go out and try to lose games. Aaron Glenn, if he wins a ton of games with a roster that is not ready to win, that's a win for the Jets, because that clearly means we would have a really good head coach. And if he doesn't win a lot of games with this roster next year, we would be in prime position to draft a top quarterback. I see people saying, you don't know how good the quarterback class is going to be. Yes, we do. The quarterback class is going to be very good next season. Not as good as 2024, but it will be very good. There will be at least 3, maybe up to 5 first-round pick quarterbacks in the draft next year. With NIL, players are staying in school longer. And specifically because it started last year, a lot of players that could have came out this year will be coming out next year. So next year's draft is going to be like a super draft. It is going to be a better draft than we've seen in recent years, because it has taken so many good players from the 2025 draft class and put them in the 2026 draft class. So that would also behoove the New York Jets to be at the top of the draft, not just in round 1, but all the rounds going forwards. Rounds 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, they would have a higher pick in those rounds as well, and would have access to that deeper pool of players created by NIL. So that's why me and Chris say we want we are expecting, we don't want to watch the Jets lose games, but we are expecting the New York Jets to try to tank this season. But by tank, we mean don't field the best team. We're not saying try to lose the games. We want to win every single game, of course. But that's what I got for you guys today. So if you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Let me know down in the comments if you want Matthew Stafford or not. And you better have a reason why you don't want him. And don't just say because Aaron Rodgers was bad. That doesn't make Matthew Stafford a bad quarterback too. As always, go Jets.